still saying for talking? No? Offender in custody?
One thing I do have to let you know is when it comes to, and this is why I only showed a certain part of it in my video that I posted earlier, when it comes to the profit loss for the 2022 year of Solid Rock. Now, I showed you the list, okay? When I showed you guys the list, I did it on purpose. I only showed you the list, I didn't show you the amounts, okay? I did that on purpose because I didn't know at the time if it was turned into the FBI or not, okay? So now I talked to this gentleman before the show, so I apologize. That's what pushed the show back a little bit, is because I was still on the phone with this gentleman. Okay. I wanted to know the origins of the story. I wanted to know how you came across it. Where did it come from? How did it come about? Uh, you know, how many people know? Just everything that it when it comes to this kind of document. Okay, whether it's real or not, because I'm not an investigator. I don't know if it's real or not. Okay. All I know is this information was handed to me. I looked at the amounts and I instantly thought, uh, a lot of these don't make sense. Okay. A lot of the amounts that goes with the stuff on this list do not make sense. So as soon as I started reading it, I instantly, uh, I instantly went, yeah, we're not showing these amounts. Not right now. Maybe later after I find out more information. Well, I found out the information. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be showing you the amounts. What I will be doing is I will be turning this into the FBI. So, for anybody that has any questions in the future, no, I'm just going to show you what was shown earlier, which is simply a list of items. But I am not going to show the amounts. I am going to be turning this into the FBI. And it's just like I told this gentleman. He's not comfortable turning it into the FBI. I said, well, I was already going to turn it in anyway, and that's okay because I'll just go ahead and turn it in anyway. Whether they're real or not, when you look at these numbers, that's all I'm going to tell you. When you look at these numbers, you instantly think of fudge. And I ain't talking ice cream. When certain amounts don't match up with what they should be. Yeah. So I'll show you the list again. But I'm not going to show you the amounts. If I get an email or not back, I'll let you know. I'll let you know what I can let you know other than that. And who knows? This basically, here's the ground of the story of how it took place. And these are just off of quick notes. This isn't off of conversation or anything. These are just quick notes that I was taking because there was a lot of information. Basically, one of the church members that used to go there that has been kicked out, was kicked out prior, was pretty close with you know, some of the people there at Solid, you know what I mean? The people that we know as the upper echelon of Solid Rock. Basically, this person was like, I don't know if you could hear some of the story from earlier in the live of the protest. It's there. I haven't checked it over or anything like that. They knew they were being recorded. Microphones right there. Um, I just set my camera over off to the side. So somebody that needed help from the church was moving back to another state that they came from. And you know how like they're doing with Sprinkler Boy, they're having a defense fund. Well, D Mills, you heard the other guy earlier. You said that that looks like a quick, yeah. But there was a member of the church that was on hard times, didn't have any money, and the church, instead of donating it, it was a loan. Now I said, was there interest on this loan? He said, no, there was no interest on the loan. I said, okay. But they did have to pay back $100 a month. So that's around that time, this gentleman started to question, well, how come we've never had a church financial meeting before? And he goes, I don't know why people were coming up congregation asking them how much was getting spent on this mission, or yes, pay back the church, ET. Well, I'm gonna have you on a show. Email me. I know you sent me a bunch of emails. Let me know what night this week you're good, ET. I want to have you on a show, and if you're available tomorrow night, let me know, because I'd love to have you on and we can discuss both of this stuff, if you know what I'm saying. And yes, they had to pay him back $100 a month. Right. So some people from the congregation started to come up to him and say, "Hey, how much is being spent on this mission, and how much is being spent on this program and stuff?" And he was like, "I couldn't I couldn't tell you. We've never had any church financial meetings. We don't even know. I don't know." So he started asking, "Well, how come we don't have any church financial meetings? I mean, I got these people coming up to me asking me this, asking me this." And they said, that's when JP, and he said JP, that's when JP handed him that piece of paper and said, "Here." And he goes, "Now, I don't know if it's legit. I don't know if it's the real books." He said, "I don't know if JP just typed it up or if he had an assistant just type it up." But he said, "This is what was handed to me by JP when it came to my questions." Now, there was some things that happened with a church member that had recently got divorced. She went to the church for counseling, and a certain somebody counseled her. You know who I'm saying. We talk about this person a lot. And then all of a sudden, a couple months later, everybody is removed. So that's when he started to go, no, something. He started preaching the Bible. the certain somebody got offended. How dare you preach to me when I'm a pastor? Next thing you know, he was so there was no church financial meetings whatsoever. He said, we don't know what was spent on what. We don't know. He goes, now when it comes to that piece of paper, he's been kicked out over a year. So it was before Micah passed. This was before all that stuff went down. Now he said, I don't know if these numbers are real or not, but at least they would know if they matched up or not, if they're, if the real report was there. So I asked him if he turned it in, and he said no. And I told him, well, I'm going to turn it in. And I was like, I would ask you to turn it in too, because it is, it is your document. You know what I'm saying? Him and his wife are very afraid, and I'm not going to go into detail about the most recent harassment / stalking that they've experienced. And so I totally, it's like, okay, I get it. If you're not comfortable, you're not comfortable. But I am letting you know that I'm turning it into the FBI. So anybody, there's been some content creators ever since I shut down my live. There's been some content creators asking for this document. I'm not going to send it to you. I know I told some of you, give me a couple days and let me talk to this person so I know what the situation is, and then I'll go ahead and send it. I'm just letting you know right now, because of the conversation that I had before the show, I am not going to be sending it to anybody. So you're basically going to see what I'm going to show you, what you saw earlier, and that is just the list. It's the list of items. And I'm just telling you right now, as soon as I started reading the amounts, I could tell it was, I could tell it was. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show this to you real quick. And like I said, I ain't showing you the stuff that you don't need to see, since it hasn't gone to the proper authorities. So I went ahead and blacked it out. So this is all folded up. This is me. I have it folded, and then I have it laying on cement or on the sidewalk so I could try and get a good picture. So this is a crease from me. But anyway, yeah, you can see all the creases over here too. So here's the list of stuff. And like I said, when I saw these numbers, I was like, this looks not good. Not good. Yeah, that's the print date. That's when he was given the piece of paper. See? He said he was kicked out over a year ago. And I told you the story. You heard some of the story from the protest. Yo! So I gave you the story. You can go watch the stream from earlier and hear probably the same story that he told me when we were on the phone. I just basically told you the story he told me while we were on the phone. And I know it was the same thing he said while he was there. So you can go check them both out if you would like. You're more than welcome. One's live, one's after a conversation. And again, I'm going to share these items with you again. Like I said, these numbers, y'all, especially some of the numbers in certain categories. So I want to say shout out to the gentleman and shout out to the community. The community, we talk to a lot of the community. When it comes to the community, ex-church members, I'm not surprised with the numbers that I see. Miscellaneous expense, men's breakfast. I'm just going to say this. Here's the thing about men's breakfast. I'll give you this, okay? Here's the thing about men's breakfast on this list. Men's breakfast is one of the most expensive things on a list. Come on, you got to think about it. That's a lot of money, right? Especially if you're all getting to think about it. This right here, the amount that was listed for men's breakfast for a year? No. Try like a month or less. A month or less. Not for a whole year. I'm telling you, the yeah. No. All right, so there's that.